Astro's Playroom is a cute little platformer that comes pre-installed on every PlayStation 5. It's basically PlayStation the video game. I had the chance to play a bit of this last week during my hands-on with the PS5, but now I've had time to sit down and take in everything it has to offer, as well as dive into some of the cool new features of the console itself. This is the perfect welcome to your new console experience. But it's no simple tech demo, it's actually a great platformer. It's only a few hours long, but Astro's Playroom is full of charm, fun ideas, collectibles, and enough challenge to keep you on your toes. I remember thinking, oh, this lovely beach area looks like a super easy, chilled out tutorial zone, and then was promptly insta-killed. The game is broken down into 4 main worlds, each representing a certain aspect of the hardware. There's cooling springs, GPU jungle, SSD speedway, and memory meadows, all linked together with virtually no loading times by the CPU plaza. Don't expect to actually learn how consoles work though. I mean, I didn't pay the closest attention to Darren's How a Computer Works lessons, but I'm pretty sure he didn't mention that CPUs swim around in a giant fish tank. But you know what? I choose to believe that's true, and little robots are actually running around inside my console, and you can't tell me otherwise. What you will absolutely learn, however, is just how cool the new controller is. The improved haptic feedback throws a constant stream of new sensations at you. From individual raindrops and ice shards hitting an umbrella, to the wibbly swishiness of swimming or wading through shallow water, or the tautness of a spring shifting from side to side, or just the feel of Astro's footsteps on different surfaces. It all has a unique feel that's believable. The speaker in the controller also sounds a lot beefier now too, and works with those little motors to really sell their various effects. You'll also be making good use of the motion controls to do things like steer spaceships or swing a monkey. You'll blow into the new microphone to spin up pinwheels, while the touchpad also gets a workout too for controlling a big ball. For me though, the coolest part of the controller is the adaptive triggers. These things are just so satisfying to play with. While they can add resistance for things like feeling a bowstring get pulled tight, they can also do things like physically kick back when you're shooting a toy Gatling gun. But my favourite is when they give you something to squish. For example, there's a little toy dispenser machine that shoots out these balls to crack open, and the triggers give you a lot of resistance at first, until they burst, really giving that satisfying feeling of making something pop. I mean, if you've ever enjoyed popping bubble wrap, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's also interesting to see what they do for gameplay too. For example, in the monkey suit section, there are some delicate handholds that will break if you grip too tightly, but you can physically feel the exact point where you have to stop pulling the trigger. It's a mechanic that just wouldn't really work without those new triggers. Hopefully we'll see a lot of games taking advantage of these new features because they really do add a great extra level of immersion, helping you feel like you can really feel the world around you. And I'll be honest, I half expect other console makers to steal some of these ideas because they are ideas worth stealing. It is worth mentioning though, you can turn them off at any point if you need to. The game really is a beautiful celebration of all things PlayStation. Throughout the levels, the Astrobots act in these adorable little scenes, recreating important games throughout PlayStation's history. And I always got a kick out of recognizing what games they were pretending to be in. Not to mention the cute little animations that play when you interact with them. Seriously, punch everything. There's also a whole heap of artifacts to collect, which show off the many bits of hardware Sony has released over the years. And these all get stored in a big interactive collection. And speaking of collecting things, this is where I got to try out the new activities feature of the PS5, which is something that'll make all you trophy hunters out there very happy. Basically, you can bring up the system menu and it'll show you what levels you haven't 100% completed yet. Then, if you're a PS Plus member, it will even load quick little videos that give you a hint of where to look for collectibles you've missed, which you can even pin to the side. And best of all, it lets you load up the nearest checkpoint in just a few seconds. Or if there's just a specific level you want to jump into, you can load it up right from the home menu. I go into the menu and select a level from Astro's, and bam! That SSD, oh boy, he's fast. And speaking of fast, there's also a speedrun mode, which has 8 specially designed levels to let you flex your speedrunning skills. It's a great little extra to give you some leaderboard chasing satisfaction. I also love that each level adds up to give you an overall time and ranking. And not to boast, but I'm currently ranked 15th in the world. Okay, yes, it's only out of 58 people, but come on, let me have this. Anyway, is it worth buying a PS5 for Astro? Probably not. I mean, it's likely you'll finish it in an afternoon. But it is an adorable and awesome freebie that actually felt like something new and interesting. Like a delicious next-gen appetizer before the main course of PS5 games to come. So I'm giving Astro's Playroom 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Just look at my little robot children. So cute.